Good afternoon, everybody. It's Tuesday afternoon, the 30th of August, and we're moving ever closer to September. Today, I pulled another card from Christina Hearn's self-care deck. And the card that came up is something very similar to yesterday. So this one is called Permission Slip. And the message on the back is, do you find yourself needing permission from others to do something that you want to do? I invite you to give yourself a permission slip instead. So for me, I again can identify with this where in the past I have had an idea perhaps that I've wanted to do something and asked multiples of people, what do you think? This is my idea. What do you think if I do this? What do you think if I do that? Looking for permission from somebody else to say that it was a good idea and maybe I should pursue it. But by asking multiples of people, not only are you going to get multiples of other people's opinions, you're going to sit in conflict with yourself. Then by going, well, 3 people said it was a good idea. 3 people said maybe not, the market for it's not going to work, or I need to rethink it, or something like that. So then you sit there indecisive, not knowing what to do, or if you go in one direction and not another, will you offend somebody? So when it comes to asking permission, first of all, do you need to ask permission? If you have an idea that something inside of you is growing that you want to do, now you may discuss something. If you're married, you have a partner, and it's something that directly impacts somebody else, then yes, you may want to discuss it with somebody and maybe fine tune something. And if you do want to share it with somebody, share it with somebody that is in a non-judgmental position, so that you can get a perspective that is a genuine perspective, not one that's skewed by somebody else that may have issues that if you succeed and leave them behind, then they're going to sabotage what it is that you want to create. So again, look at what it is that you feel you need permission to do. Do you want to go and get your hair cut in a completely different style or dye it a different color? And you ask 10 or 15 people, what do you think? What do you think? And again, get mixed responses. So you don't do it, because if I do, and this friend doesn't like it, then maybe they won't speak to me anymore. Take a moment to actually look at, sense, and feel what is inside of you that you feel you need permission to do. What do you need permission to do? Have a look at the structure of it. Do you have plans in place? Do you have a direction? Is it something that only personally affects you, or does it affect multiples of people? Perhaps if it affects multiples of people, like I mentioned, you can speak to some close friends that are more open, less judgmental, in a place to receive something and give a perspective that you can then walk away with and go, that was an interesting perspective. I like that. I'm going to go with that. Or that was an interesting perspective, but it's not quite the alignment of what it is that I want to do, but I'm going to do my thing anyway. For so long, we have set ourselves up by the measure of someone else. We want to be approved of. We want to be accepted. We measure our success by somebody else telling us that we did a good job. So when it comes down to looking at yourself, how do you choose to measure yourself? Because the only person you can compare yourself to is the person that you were a week ago, a month ago, a year ago, 5 years ago. And when you look at that comparison of where you were perhaps 5 years ago to where you are now, and you sense, feel, and know there is something that you want to achieve, you want to do, you want to create, whatever that is, then the only one that really you need permission to succeed from is yourself. Just think about that for a minute. I mean, it may be that you're looking to quit your job. Yes, that might have a direct effect on someone else. But if you have another plan in place, or you feel that there's something else calling to you, have that discussion first and see where you feel. You may be wanting to move location. Yes, that's going to have a direct impact on somebody else. But ultimately, the person that it has the most impact on is you. And it's not until we really step outside of our comfort zone and we actually begin to express ourselves in a way that lights us up inside that we really begin to live a life. If you're always expecting permission from somebody else, then you are living a life to somebody else's measure, not your own. So take today to think about, what am I not doing that I may be waiting for permission from someone else to do? And perhaps getting permission from someone else, if it didn't quite work out the way you wanted, then there's always someone to blame by saying, well, you talked me into it. I only did it because you said it was a good idea. There is only personal responsibility. And in that personal responsibility, we can give ourselves permission to live the life we choose to live. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Have an amazing day and give yourself permission to do something that you've wanted to do today, over the weekend, or perhaps next week, and see how it feels to do that. Bye for now.